The Linux Action Show is created by Jupiter Broadcasting. It's sponsored by Ting. Go to last.ting.com to save off your first device or plan, and DigitalOcean. Go over to DigitalOcean.com and use our promo code LASTDigital, and then you can spin up your own Linux rig for free.
Welcome to Linux Action Show, episode 401. My name is Chris.
And my name is Noah.
Hey, Noah, guess what? Totally crazy episode this week. Not really a big show, totally off the rails, substandard, below the bar, probably shouldn't even be an episode. We figured after 400 episodes, we had earned the right to have one completely unscripted train wreck, right?
Okay, that sounds like a horrible plan, but I'm in.
Well, so we're getting ready to go to SCaLE 14, and it requires a lot of planning. There's going to be some Linux in the mix, and we thought, instead of doing behind the closed doors kind of planning thing, we'll just, in sort of the spirit of open source development, we'll have our planning meeting in open right here on the show, so you guys can kind of see what we're doing and what it takes to go cover an open source event. So we kind of have a off the rail show. We're going to throw the format out, but we are, because Noah and I love spotlighting projects and giving you guys great things to check out, we are going to still do the
picks.
Yeah, the picks. There you go.
And we have an Epics Runs Linux this week.
Yeah, we really do. Do you know the bloke's name who sent this into the show before?
I don't recall, but here's all you need to know about this guy. This guy is so next level that when he sent it in, I saw it and I went, we're using that. I don't even know. I don't know for what. We're using it, and I downloaded it to the computer and had it saved in my downloads folder. And so, because things get lost in email so quickly, with Last, and so, but that one stood out way far above and beyond the rest.
So check this out. This guy's car runs Linux.
All right, let's talk about the family car ride. Typically, when you put 6 people in a confined space, things start to get interesting. One person won't want to be next to the other person, et cetera, et cetera. We all have those memories. You know what they're like. So one of the solutions car manufacturers have come up with is they'll put a DVD player in the car, and that's great, but then you end up fighting about what movie to watch, or I don't get to watch my podcasts, listen to my podcast while I'm driving because I have to listen to whatever kids movie the kids want to watch. So we've had a couple of generations of cell phones now, and the old ones all have internet that work. And so what we've done is we've developed a solution that lets everybody watch their show on their screen. And the way to do that is to use Linux, particularly Ubuntu Mate, and get things going in the car so that way everybody is happy. And here's how we've done this. So up front here, you can see I've got a lot of outlets there. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of things to power up. The second one from the bottom is to a 150 watt power inverter. That one and the red cord both run back through the car, back here, and you'll see a nice old, MacBook Air. Now this MacBook Air looks really good, and we always talk about how the hardware is really great, unless your youngest son decides that he wants to go ahead and put his head up against the screen. When he does that, you end up with a screen that looks like this. Hardware inside is really great. This computer is definitely functioning. Lots of battery power, everything else like that. It's got a Core i7 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, but I can't use the screen anymore. And if I were running Mac OS, I wouldn't be able to do much with this because it's designed to only be used as a GUI. So I need an operating system that I can run either as a GUI when I plug this into a monitor, or as a headless machine that I can SSH into. And we're going to show you that here in just a second. All right, so we've plugged a couple more things in here now. You can see we've got a 500 or a terabyte, I can't remember, Western Digital hard drive. It's powered off the USB on the side here. This is a little portable travel router. Works great. We also charge that off the USB on this side. Now, for traveling purposes, I store all that in this little handy-dandy case, and all of this goes underneath this seat.
Whoa. Whoa, is he fast forwarding on us? Holy smokes, check that out.
So, now, we've set up OpenSSH on this machine, but while I'm driving, there's no way I'm going to open SSH. And I absolutely love my wife, but sometimes she's not as supportive with my hobbies as I'd like her to be. So anytime I try to get her to use the command line, it's not happening. So what I've done instead is I've managed to teach my daughter, how to open SSH and this stuff. And so we're going to run through those steps here, and it'll probably take us a couple takes. But we're going to go ahead and do it. So what's the first step we have to do?
First step, you have to get some apps on your phone. Juice, SSH, and Ping Tools. I have them on my phone, luckily.
So now we're going to ping to make sure it's up and running. 192. .168.1.2. It's up, right?
Yep.
Successful. Now you can SSH into it.
I love it.
So right now we got this up, so we're gonna go to sudo space
service.
I'm horrible at spelling, just for your information.
SERVICE. How'd we do?
SERVICE.
You got to be precise. And then MB dash server and then start. Okay, so did it go?
Yep.
Asking for the password?
Yeah, trying to.
All right.
This is the way to teach kids how to use Linux right here.
Exactly. You will learn how to SSH, or you will have media.
All right, let's see if this goes.
Yep, it's on. We're in. Mine's up and running.
All right, so now that I'm in the system, I'm going to do HTOP. Liza, play the video. So this shows us.
That's awesome.
I mean, again, because it's a Linux server, right? In the car, I'm able to see what our system usage is right now. So I can HTOP in on here, and you can see that the processor's pretty low because most of the videos are encoded for H.264, and so they stream directly in. All right, so let's see if this one's working. All right, so the iPad 2 is having a bit of trouble loading this. Let's see if this gets going here. All right, so we've got video on the iPad 2. Right, and we're able to see what's going on.
He's
now
using a web server on the LAN.
All right. So
there you go. Ubuntu Mate in the car, Noah. What do you think?
I think that's absolutely awesome. And the fact that it's all self-contained right in his vehicle, doesn't require any outside connection.
Yeah. I think there's probably a lot of ways to make that a lot easier without having to do SSH and whatnot. But at the same time, I kind of like the fact that it's goal-based computer incentive training, right? And that kind of works for me.
It prevents what I call learned helplessness.
Yeah. Oh, good way. So anyways, thank you very much for sending that in. That was very cool. So we're going to keep going through the picks because we're kind of doing a different format this week. We're going to keep moving right along and talk about something that might turn your Chromebook into something a little more useful. It's a project we wanted to talk about in Spotlight here. It's Gallium Os. Like Gallium. Kind of like Chrome. It's a fast and lightweight Linux distro for Chrome OS devices, and I forgot who it was in the chat room said they put it on their Acer C720p, and it's rocking. It's optimized for fast speed. It's based on Ubuntu, and we've mentioned it in the past in passing. And so if you have a older device, I've got one of these Acers in myself that you could put this on. This could give you sort of a Chrome OS-like experience. It's a couple of steps removed from Google, and it's based on the Chromium project. It's pretty neat, Noah. And I don't know if do you have any Chromebook hardware besides the Pixel? You still have the Pixel?
Yeah, well, I have two. I've got my son's C720, and then I've got the Pixel. Neither of them get a whole lot of use, to be honest with you.
You should totally try this.
Here's what it would have to give me something that I'm not already getting from another Linux distro. If that was the case, then I could see myself doing it. Otherwise, Ubuntu, if you install Ubuntu, like on the Pixel, I'll take the Pixel, for example. If you install Ubuntu and you make like literally two changes to two little files, you change a line, two different lines in two different files, you would not know that the Pixel didn't just ship with Ubuntu. It runs that well on it. So this would have to do something for me that itch isn't meeting, because right now I can launch into Ubuntu and treat it just as I treat every other computer I interact with. And that standardization, that modularization is what I really like about Linux to begin with. So
I think for me is some of these Chrome OS devices they really do feel like they're built for Chrome OS. And so there's a few things that this distro has done. It's optimized to eliminate some of the stalls you get on some of these hardware. And the other thing is they've modified their touchpad driver to work more similar to Chrome OS. And it updates similar to the way Chrome OS updates too. So it gives you a very familiar tier 1 hardware supported experience on a Chromebook that's removed from Google at least a step or two. That's what I like about it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about easy file sharing under Linux, and a lot of people wrote in to tell us about reep.io, reep.io. You can transfer files directly between browsers. You just point a file you want to share, and then your peer will be able to download this file. Why didn't we try this that runs Linux? Oh my God, we are so dense. Oh my, we totally could have just used this. Anyways, so Reap.io, a really great way to send files directly between modern browsers. So go check that out. We'll have links to that in the show notes and previous picks at jupiterbroadcasting.com/lastpicks. Now, since we're throwing out the format and doing something a little different, I want to take a moment and I want to thank all of our sponsors of the Linux Action Show. And I want to start by thanking, of course, DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is a simple cloud hosting provider dedicated to offering the most intuitive and easy way for you to spin up your own Linux rig in less than 55 seconds. You can get 512 megabytes of RAM, a 20 gigabyte SSD, 1 CPU, and a terabyte of transfer for $5 a month. Use our promo code LASTDIGITAL. You'll get a $10 credit. They have a really good interface. They have a super intuitive API, and you can deploy basically either just a raw Linux box or the entire stack, whichever you prefer, with one click. You can manage your machines very easily. Check them out, digitalocean.com, and use our promo code LASTDIGITAL to get a $10 credit. Try them out for 2 months for free. Now, also, I want you to go to linux.ting.com, or last.ting.com, I should say. Linux.ting.com is for the Unplugged show. Don't go there. Those guys are jerks. I hear that some of them even tell people not to use Linux sometimes. I wouldn't trust them for a second. So support the big show. Those guys you can trust, right, Noah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We would never tell somebody not to use Linux. We would never, ever, ever, especially if that other person was considering FreeBSD. And Ting, they don't support BSD. They run everything's Linux.
Last.ting.com. Go get $25 off your first device or $25 in service credit. I've been using them for nearly 3 years, and so is Noah. They're just an incredibly flexible mobile service that charges for only what you use, no contracts, no early termination fee, and it's a flat $6 for your line. Last.ting.com. You have to go there to support the show and let them know you appreciate them advertising here and keeping us going, and you have to go there to get the $25 discount. By the way, they got CDMA, GSM networks too. So it's great when you're traveling around. I happen to know that for a fact. And I also got to say, best customer service in the industry. Last.ting.com. Go check them out. And a big thank you to Ting. Also, another sponsor here on the show is the Linux Academy. These are a bunch of people that are truly passionate about Linux and open source, and that's why they're advertising here on the Jupiter Broadcasting Network. Go to linuxacademy.com/unplugged to get a special discount on their courses. It's a great opportunity. They have over 2,000 self-paced courses, instructor help is available, scenario labs, graded server exercises, and all of the technology you'd expect. And they keep it updated, they keep it current because they're passionate about this stuff and they follow it. They do videos, they do live events, and they have a great community. Again, another sponsor where Noah and I are both customers of the Linux Academy. Happy customers and been customers for a long time too. So check them out. If you are in a job where they give you a little bit of credit for any out of work education, if you're trying to step up your resume, make it look a little better, or if you just want to have some competence or even challenge yourself, check out Linux Academy. linuxacademy.com/unplugged. We're bringing the Unplugged discount to the Linux Action Show. And then our friends at System 76 for nearly 10 years. System 76 has been for over, actually, they reached their 10th birthday, didn't they? They did, actually, while we were there, right around then. So for over 10 years now, they've been creating systems designed to run Linux. They've been shipping great Ubuntu systems, and they are fanatical about the details. They are a bunch of maniacs. We were there, and I couldn't believe some of the things that they nitpicked over. They have built systems to make sure that every system builds and installs to their spec. They're built right here in the US of A. They're supported in the US of A, and they have some great laptops, desktops, and servers. Tell them the Linux Action Show sent you when you go to system76.com.
You won't find, I have yet to see another business that has that many devoted to hardcore Linux users there. I mean, the words cannot describe the enthusiasm towards Linux in general. That is, I mean, they want to do everything with Linux, and they get like super embarrassed if there's something that they can't do with Linux, or there's something that's not possible. Then it's like they're
it's like a stain. It's like we don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good visit. 2015 we went to some pretty cool places. We saw some pretty cool stuff. Before we jump into the rest of the show, we had a previous pick, EasyTag, and Kevin B. wrote in about EasyTag. I just wanted to let you know that others have begun to fork EasyTag for Windows and OS X, despite it still being an alpha. And that being said, the most advanced and stable version of EasyTag is still on Linux, but I thought I'd let you know of these efforts. And it gives us links. So if you've been listening and you heard us brag about EasyTag, it is going over to those other OSs. He says, I've been a loyal listener since 2012. Keep him coming. Sincerely, Kevin. Wow, 2012. That's a long time. Yeah, a lot of people wrote in and mentioned how they like EasyTag, and a lot of people have been using EasyTag to manage huge media collections.
I was apparently living under a rock because I'd never heard of it, but it totally changed my life once I figured it out.
I don't think we've ever done boxes either, have we? I'm going to go over to the Pix site right now, jupiterbroadcasting.com/lastpicks. Have we ever done as a desktop app boxes? I mean, I guess I don't know if. No, we haven't.
I've definitely used it.
Oh man, I tell you, for every time we show something in a VM on the show these days, I'm doing boxes, and I really screwed up. Well, I thought I did. I was getting frustrated with boxes, and I wanted to try out the new VMware workstation that came out like a month or two back. And to install VMware workstation on Linux, you have to disable the KVM extensions. So I broke my boxes installation, and within like 3 minutes, I was able to unblacklist the kernel modules, mod probe them, didn't even have to restart, had KVM back up and running after a systemctl command, and I was back up and installing a VM in boxes in 2 minutes after going from having it completely broken. And it wasn't even like broken, it was just I went in and I had to go remember all the kernel modules I disabled, which was just 2. I think it was like KVM and KVM_Intel or something. And it dawned on me that we have just sort of fallen into one of the easiest and simplest virtualization experiences on Linux. And it goes through all my rolling distros just fine. Like I want to just show you really second. So this is the boxes interface, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you know this, but I think this really shows you a modern, elegant GTK3 desktop application. So I click on New. Did you notice how the window sort of expands out, right? Because it's so then it gives me an option of what I want to do: enter a URL, maybe an ISO it already knows about, or select a file. Again, there's an animation slide effect there. It's really nice. I can go into my sync folder where I have my ISO images. I'll choose like say Remix OS. It slides again. The customization screen is very simple and straightforward, maybe too simple. And then I click Create, and it's spun up the virtual machine. And this, by the way, is Remix OS, which is an Android. It's a spin on Android based on Android x86 that we talked about on Linux Unplugged. And now I have my virtual machine up and running. Boxes is so simple and so straightforward. I really like it. And we've never made it a pick because it kind of feels like one of those things that comes built in. But if you would have gone back 5 years ago and said, one of the simplest and well-performing and versatile virtualization options is just going to come built into your GNOME desktop using one of the industry's best virtualizers out there, I would have been like, that's amazing. Are you talking about VMware? Like, I wouldn't have even grokked it. And now, boxes, I'm not saying it's the end-all virtualization system, but I'm saying, like, if you need to run Windows or you want to try out a Linux distro or something like Remix OS or like our app pick, the NetBoot XYZ that we did last week, boxes is pretty much built in. You don't have to do a lot of effort to get KVM working. It depends on your distro. And it's a great... It stands the test of time. I can update my system. I have a rolling system. It doesn't break like VMware does or VirtualBox does from time to time, even with DKMS. I really like it, and we've never made an official pick, but I really think Boxes is a great one. And check out Remix OS. It takes a while to boot up for some reason, but it does eventually start up. And if you're curious about Remix OS, Wes and I gave our thoughts about it in Linux Unplugged recently. All right, Noah, so we don't have a news segment to go to. Next, we have our SCaLE planning, so buckle up. This just might be a train wreck. Like all busy small business entrepreneurs, Noah and I sometimes don't get a chance to plan everything as well as we should. We should definitely have all of these details worked out that we're about to cover for SCaLE 14. It's a big event. The Linux Action Show sort of decided to go at the last minute, and so some of the details of our planning are kind of last minute. Now, Noah, you're feeling pretty good at this point, though, right?
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't plan anything. I don't plan anything.
You don't.
I save everything till the last possible minute.
Yeah.
And then I take off and I roll with the punches.
Do you even have it? Do you even have a ticket right now? Do you have a ticket? No, of course not.
No, I have a hotel reservation.
All right, so this is my.
I don't care about any of that. I don't need any of that.
This is my first question. Do you know when you will be arriving in Pasadena?
Sometime on Friday morning.
Friday morning. Now, so Thursday night's out.
Thursday night's out. Thursday night is Sarah's birthday, so we have.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I thought it was Wednesday. Oh, jeez. No, okay. All right. So Friday morning, but for sure in the morning. Like maybe you think you could make it to Cory Doctorow's keynote at 9 a.m.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
okay. But around there. Okay, so
there,
morning. So you're probably going to be able to make it to the lunch then. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking of bringing as my main equipment. This is, I don't know what you're bringing. I'll get to that next. But so my loadout is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to bring for my main video stuff, I'm going to bring the GoPro with the cool little gimbal thing. So we'll be able to get the gimbal shots, which I think is always really fun. But the problem with the GoPro, even though it's got the nice gimbals and the wide angle, which is great for shooting conventions, is it has horrible audio. So I mean, really bad. So what I want to do for that is I want to use a Christmas gift that I got from my dad. Whoa, my gimbal just started going cray cray. Did you hear it? Did you hear my gimbal go cray cray?
Yes, I did. Wasn't sure if that was a gimbal or
no, well, or something else. Maybe I'm just happy to see you. So this is a Zoom shotgun microphone here. Check this thing out, Noah. Now, can you explain to the audience what a shotgun mic does?
So essentially what you have is there's multiple different kinds of microphones that are for multiple different purposes. And so a lot of times they'll be divided into condensers or dynamic mics. But the other thing we look at is the pickup pattern. And so if you have a hypercardioid mic, it's going to be a very concentrated pickup pattern. It's very unidirectional. And that's essentially what a shotgun mic does. It's very unidirectional, but it is designed to pick up. It's designed to be very, very sensitive, although it's unidirectional. So I can sit at the back end of a room and point a shotgun mic down the corridor, and if there's a speaker standing on stage, it sounds like he's talking right into my microphone. And even though there's 50 or 60 people that are crumbling papers and stuff in between me and him, because he is right at the end of the path of the shotgun mic, he's all that we pick up. And so when you're out in the field doing recording stuff like that, having the ability to have an actual shotgun mic, if you can get it into the shotgun mount thing, the Riosoc,
the muff is, what do you call these things? The dead cat or whatever these are called? What do they call these things? Here we go. I got it. No, I got it in the hole. All right. So
good. I'm glad.
I got it there. And so, this is what it looks like now. It's pretty cool looking. And so my lady, my friendly lady will be going around with the Zoom recorder behind me. So I'll go up with the GoPro to get the video, and then I'll have her shoot this with audio. So then if I use it in LUP, I can just take this. But if we decide to use it in LAS, I will sync up the audio. And that's one of the reasons why it's kind of nice that we're going to have a little extra time to come back. Our plan is to do a great SCaLE episode where we've sat down and done all the editing. So I'm going to bring this. So I'll have my Zoom recorder and the GoPro, and that's all I'm planning to bring with me as far as recording equipment goes. Do you think that's enough? Am I forgetting something?
I think you'd be all right. You know, the last time I won't bring up the fact that the last time we went to a thing, you had one job.
I know.
To bring one interface, and you didn't bring it. But no. So what I'll be bringing obviously a field camera. I'll bring an interview mic. I'll be bringing an HDMI interface so that I can get video into the computer in case you want to do any live coverage. I'll have an audio interface. I will have. What else will I have? I think that's about what I mean. And obviously,
you don't need me to bring like any of the crates.
Well, I mean, that would be amazing. But the problem is we wouldn't really have a chance to use them because you're essentially we're just going to kind of pass each other in the night.
Yeah.
And so I what am I going to do with it after?
That's a good point. Yeah, we wouldn't really be able to. Yeah, well, in the future, that should be a problem that's easier. So let's talk about coverage since the passing of the night thing. So I'm going to be coming in, I hope to arrive actually the 20th, maybe.
Okay.
Because there's an UpaCon evening like get together. I might try to make it to if all goes well. And so I'm hoping to cover UpaCon and the first couple of days, and then I'm planning to leave after our lunch on Friday. So the thing about that is there's a couple of interesting talks and stuff, and so one of the things I wouldn't mind doing is maybe actually getting a talk or two. Like there's one in particular that's in the SCaLE thread. That is happening on Saturday that we could maybe if they'd let us, maybe we could record the whole thing and then pull a couple of clips for it for LAS or for Unplugged. Sure. So we don't normally record entire talks, but that's from an audio perspective can be pretty challenging. So I could leave you the Zoom and we could just exchange SD cards and you could just get the audio and not worry about the video. I'm not sure. What do you think? Or do you think video wouldn't be an issue?
Well, yeah, I don't think video will be an issue because I'll have the camera with me anyway for doing other interviews. And I've got a shotgun mic on the camera as well as the
mic. Okay. So you could
as a talk. I can.
That'd be ideal. Now, and then you remember, so you're going to be doing Unplugged on Tuesday with Wes. And
that happens all before.
Yeah. But the ideal for that would be for you to be able to host the Mumble Room because he's, we've only got one machine for audio in and out.
Yeah, that's
so,
fine.
Okay, and maybe he Skypes or whatever, Zooms or whatever, Hangouts or whatever to you. So yeah. What?
I can see the mental list. Skype. Wait, no, we're using Mumble. No, we're using Zoom. I don't know.
Whatever you want to use, as long as the job gets done, I'm good.
Change it week to week.
Okay, so then you'll be there, and then what do you think you're leaving? What is your out time on Sunday?
You're making me nervous now.
What?
We're talking about Linux Unplugged. We're talking in like 3 days, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with SCaLE.
No, I was just reminding you. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to handle that before you even leave. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, then I go back to work, do my work week. Then I get to the end of the week, and I take up and I get to SCaLE, and now we pass each other in the night, and now I think I'm caught up.
And when do you think you're leaving SCaLE? So do you think you're?
I'll stay as long as necessary. So Sunday probably would be the earliest.
And I mean, so now not doing a show live from there. What would be kind of ideal is when you get back is to go through the footage and just the really good stuff. We condense it down.
Flip out. Yep.
And then what I would like to see is possibly if we could come up with a couple of like you were talking like a spreadsheet or maybe Slack or something. Maybe Slack is the better place to do it. We just do a SCaLE specific thread in there, and we'll just say, okay, I just interviewed this person. I just interviewed this person.
Yes.
And then what I would like is maybe to have a couple episodes worth of interviews. So that's something to think about. So we'll just kind of have to keep tabs on that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
that's more important for you than it is for me, because essentially, you go through you're picking up your interviews, and then when I come in, basically the purpose of that suggestion was so that I'm not re-interviewing the same people that you've already talked to. So basically, I mean, really, it's in some ways you get the blessing and the curse, because you get first pick, but at the same time, you just got to keep track of those.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not a big deal. All right, so we'll figure out. We'll have a thread, and I'll just let you know who I talk to. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to hit that heavy or not. I might go for more of. I don't know. Maybe I should plan on like getting like the lunch and getting the conference and the event, and you should plan on interviews. Should we do it that way?
Sure, that works.
Do you think there's enough in getting the event of like shooting the floors there?
Yeah, SCaLE's huge, man. Huge.
All right. So when you get in on Friday after lunch, so you could just knock interviews out Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, it won't take me 3 days.
No, I know. So there's more. Even if you did all of the interviews on your own, there's still more than enough time.
Oh yeah.
So let's plan on default. You'll be doing interviews unless something just spontaneously comes up and I grab them, then I'll throw it in the Slack thread.
Okay.
Otherwise, assume that I haven't talked to him. I might focus more on people going too.
Sure.
The people attending. Okay. So, and then you're out Sunday. I'll be coming home Sunday. So now here's the craziness coming up for me. Because we're recording this now, I'm already kind of running over. But after I get off air and finish up all of the back end stuff here, I got to go home and I got to pack. Because not only do I have to pack for the trip, so I have to pack all of the production stuff I have to bring, which isn't much. And I got to pack my clothes. But yeah, now I'm also moving to the Rover 2. I didn't end up getting the one I had talked about before on air because the financing didn't work out. So but if I still got all the amenities but dropped down to a gas engine, then I could basically swing it. So I picked up a Thor Challenger that I'll be going down to. Now here's the crazy thing, Noah. This is the really crazy thing. In the future, like with the crates and stuff, we're going to have plenty of storage. Like we can throw the crates in there and I'll just bring it down with me. That's going to be really nice. It's going to be my new residence too, and it has a Onan 5500 generator in it.
Nice.
However, only 2 6-volt batteries for the house.
Yeah, but that's
going to have to work on that.
That just means there's plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that. But it's nice. It's got the side camera mirrors. So I can see when I'm turning. I did a little driving on it already. It's got a nice like full residential refrigerator. It's got a fireplace, television. That's super nice. I really like that about it. And it's got 2 beds right here for the kids, which will be nice.
Looks awesome, man. Looks awesome. What year was it?
2014, brand new actually, but because it's been sitting on the lot for so long and they're having their 2016s come in, they're pretty desperate to get rid of it. So it worked out really well. So it's 37 feet. So it'll be big enough for when the kids are over, and it'll be not only my residence, but it'll be the new Rover. So here's the crazy thing. Going home tonight, packing up as much as possible,
Yep.
hitching up tomorrow morning,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of all the last remaining things in town, like all the little last errands before you leave town for a week,
Yep.
pulling the Rover down to the dealership where this is at, where the Class A is at, swapping all of the stuff in the Rover that remains into the new rig, and then from the service center, driving the new rig down to SCaLE. So I'm
Truck then.
the truck is probably going to stay at the service center for a while. I don't know. We're still figuring that part out. I have somebody lurking right here that would probably tell me, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all getting worked out. Yeah, it's sort of fly by the seat of our pants, but it's going to be fun. And so we'll be there in the new Rover. And it's really nice because Tech Helper 1 has offered to let us drive his 99 Cadillac while we're down in Pasadena.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so because that was the disadvantage, right? Is when I don't have the truck and the trailer, I can't unhitch and drive around in Pasadena. I'm not going to drive.
Right.
I'm not going to drive this thing around in Pasadena.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, really?
It's a little much. So he's got.
If we can handle downtown Denver, you can handle downtown Pasadena.
Yeah, maybe I could. It has crossed my mind. Trust me. About every 2 hours, I think, maybe I could just find a spot like on the side of the road, really close to the convention center. Because how crazy! You know what I am gonna do? I probably shouldn't say this on air because they might not let me. But I totally want to park it at Linux Fest. Roll it up at Linux Fest Northwest. Park it up there. That'd be awesome.
You really don't think they'd let you?
I think they would let me. I just don't want, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. Now I've said it on air. Now I have to ask.
No, you never mind. We're done.
I know. All right.
Moving on.
So you're going to bring your regular camera. I'm going to bring the GoPro, and I might leave you, or I don't need to leave you with the Zoom. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. No, I think I'll be all right.
Okay. I'm kind of excited. I think, and you should be able to make it for lunch at noon.
Yes, that is the plan.
Okay, Noah, how come I'm skeptical of that? Maybe I'm skeptical of that because you don't even have a ticket.
You can be skeptical that things don't always work out to the plan.
I almost have a feeling you're banking on the fact that I've got couch space for you. That's what it feels like right now. Because you don't even have a hotel room right now. You are crazy.
No. I never have a hotel room. Ever. Anywhere I go, I never
That's
have
true. That is true. It seems to work out for you.
I landed in the middle of Sydney, Australia, and I had no idea where I was going for a hotel, a rental car. I had no idea. I didn't have any of that planned, and I like it that way. I think it's more fun.
Hey, man, you know what? I got to say, so far it seems to work out for you. And me, I just avoid flying altogether. That's why I decided to live the RV lifestyle.
Anywhere I go, I don't plan. I don't plan anything ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
There's a certain freedom to that from stress and anxiety.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing, too. Nobody can ever tell me, dude, you said XYZ was going to happen at ABC. No, I didn't. I said I didn't plan. That's what I said. And I said if it worked out, then it would work out.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. So what we're going to do is hopefully after we're all done here, we're going to go get packed up. We're going to head out to SCaLE. And then in the week following, we'll have a great episode because one of the things we've done traditionally is we've sort of slammed the episode on location together because going there, planning, meeting people, doing the event itself, having meetups takes so much time that then when it comes time to do the show, and because you spend so much time troubleshooting a live event, we sort of have to slam it together and we talk to people, but they have to come to our booth. And what we really want to do is say, well, what if we took our time and we had a little bit of extra, just a day or two extra, even just to sort of throw a few things together and look at a conference when there's just a couple of days of prep time. What could we do? So that's why we're doing this and showing you our planning session this week so you guys kind of know what goes into it. And then when you see the episode, hopefully it's a little bit step above our regular stuff. And we wanted to kind of do it right now that we're going back to video, so it takes a little extra time to kind of nail it.
You do realize you just told them that we're making an episode about planning, and all we've done is exemplified how little we've planned.
But we have just planned at the same time.
That's true. Now it is planned.
I know. You see how I took two guys who don't plan but need to make content, and I solved both problems.
Oh my God. You're such a problem solver.
Hey, I think I got a new podcast idea. Chris the Problem Solver. I got a phone number people can call into now, so why not?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I know this is a little unconventional episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. Either way, I hope you get a little peek behind the scenes. We thought it would be better to do this than absolutely nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Noah? I hope you have a good trip. I hope it goes well. And I hope Sarah has a good birthday, too. It's awful nice of her to let you.
Yeah.
It's awful nice of her.
Birthday, yes. I hope Sarah has a good birthday.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. It just, never mind.
I just think it's really nice of her because, you're pretty much leaving the night of her birthday or whatever. So,
Yep. She's awfully generous, but she also loves and cares about the Linux ecosystem and the Linux community, and that's her way of giving back, so to speak, is
Fair
sharing
enough. That's good for her. Good for her. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to this absolute train wreck episode of the Linux Action Show. I hope you liked our open source planning. And by the way, we didn't really mention the fact because you and I have such shorthand, but like when Noah's like, yeah, I'll bring an HDMI capture, what he's not telling you is that HDMI capture gets plugged into a Linux box running OBS and using Lightworks for the editing, which is sort of the part we completely glossed over, although anybody watching the show for a while would know that. But
I was going to say, because we've never mentioned that before.
I know. But you know what, man? Hey, we just talked to somebody on the phone last episode who's only been watching for like 3 weeks, so he might not know. And so we just sort of, because you and I know that, just sort of skipped over that little detail, which is very relevant to our audience.
I'm going to say this on air. Windows is too hard for me. That's what I'm learning. I'm not smart enough to use Windows.
Hey, you know what? I'm right there with you. And on that note, thank you so much for tuning in this week's episode of the Linux Action Show, and we'll see you from SCaLE next week.
4 minutes on the upload.
I'm just waiting for you to just be like, here's the thing. You know what would be really effing easy if I just set up SyncThing and then I would just put it in a folder and I wouldn't have to think about it. And you know what the beauty thing about SyncThing is? Instead of wasting our time with you uploading to a server and then I connect to that server and download it, you just send it directly to my machine. You don't waste time uploading. I don't waste time downloading. You just send it directly to my machine. Directly to my machine. So, you would think eventually it's going to click. Eventually. I'm waiting.
Eventually. All right. I have to set up SyncThing. If there was a way that I could just... I need graphical...
SyncThing GTK.
All right.
SyncThing GTK.
One of these days I'm looking.
Just saying. SyncThing GTK, all right? Just saying.
All right. One of these days. You know really what this is? Honestly, if you think about it, when I think about it, it actually has nothing to do with the fact that I don't use SyncThing. Really, I didn't use FTP either. But I'm a creature of habit. So once you get me in the habit of doing something one way, and it only takes like once or twice, then I'm like set doing that forever after. Like I'll give you a hint. I always walk around the back side of my car to get to wherever it is I'm going, even if the car is parked in such a way that the place is on the left side of the car. I still walk to the back of the car, and then I think it was the way I do it. And the reason is because like one of the very first times I ever drove a vehicle, I walked around the back side of a car. So now I do it every time, and it never changed.
The beauty about the SyncThing there, Noah, is then the only habit you have to develop is I put a file in a folder, and then you're done. That's your habit.
No, not true. Come on, now you're oversimplifying.
Once it's set up.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I'm gonna have to reset this thing up like once every 2 weeks.
But it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy.
Okay,
it's pretty easy.
Just for you, I'm going to make an effort to set up sync.
Look at you.
Where do I sync? Do I sync? Do you have to give me a key to sync to you then?
Yeah, we'll do it after SCaLE. But it's gonna be funny because it would be super handy for probably all the SCaLE stuff we're about to do.
You know what I'm gonna do? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sync thing up to the FTP.
Oh my God, you could do it. You could. Hey, go download off FTP. I sent it there via SyncThing.